Hey everyone, I wanted to give you a review of my base. I've had a couple people say a few things about my base, and so I wanted to give you a quick tour of the interior of it because they've seen it from the outside, but let's go ahead and start looking at the inside. So I started my power by being at this volcanic vent, and I hooked up a couple of these generators, 63, and I think this one's 58 or something. 52. Okay, not a lot, at least it's not like the high end, but it doesn't really matter because with the lower values it doesn't give you lower power, so you always seem to wind up with the same bit. But I put a couple of links up here, kept them high so that you'd be able to not have your transmission line interrupted, because if you have any of your transmission lines like separated by one of the tubes or the ground, it's just as bad as grounding an electrical circuit, and the next thing you know, you have no power. So as you can see, my base is coming in, and this happens to be my power module. And why would I call it a power module? Well, that's where my nuclear power plant is also housed. So as you can see, this is the exterior of the base. I have 3 moon pools, a couple of observation domes, a scanner room, and a bunch of other rooms for general stuff. That's the captain's quarters, and then this is where I house my aquarium. I'd like to put some more windows in, would be nice. But as you can see, those are the 4 little orbs that you can get, the eggs you can find around. I found them actually before I even knew that they were something that was desirable. I found all 4 of them just kind of generically walking around and doing stuff, and so that was kind of cool. I didn't even realize what they were for when I originally found them. So anyway, let's get inside before I drown, but let's start on the outside. Okay, so this moon pool here and this moon pool are for my sea moths. I have 2 of them. I actually have more than 2, but I primarily used 2 to run around and do everything I needed to do. The third one was for the prawn, and I used it for the prawn because it had such a shallow entry point right here, and the deeper ones were for the sea moths because they could come in kind of hot, if you will, at a very high rate of speed, and then just get picked up by the loading arms. So this one here is kind of the auxiliary one. No work really gets performed in here. It was just a kind of an afterthought after I had one and I needed to have a parking spot for it, so I just threw one in here and gave it a glass tube to walk through. And this here is the main docking station, moon pool. So I contain water, food, and batteries in each of my compartments. This one here, I was trying to make a Mark II depth for my Seamoth Mark II depth. I've since used it for other things, but I'll typically, if I have a lot of materials or something to throw in, or that I'm going to need to fabricate, I'll take portions of those materials, throw them in the cabinet, and if I'm going to log out, I'll label it something with the thing I'm going to be building next, so the next time I come in or log back in, I can remember what I was doing. Miscellaneous thing, actually have an additional scanner room, HUD chip, various lockers with different stuff in it, teeth, crystals. I keep all my diamonds and rubies, sulfur, my crystalline, and my kyanite in here. So then, of course, my metals and whatnot are in here. And if I have anything specific for for this crafting station, for this fabricator for your prawn or your sea moth, I'll make them. I'll put those contents. I'll put those contents here, and that way there I don't have to go running around. Again, it's something I'm trying to build. I don't know if there's anything else. Oh yeah, I also had a medical locker. Probably ought to just. There you go. And then that way when I'm running around in a hurry, I can just grab those things and see what they are. Now, yeah. Oh, yeah, and I have another passageway to the other moon pool over here with additional space and additional docking station, so that in case I need to do updates for the prawn, I can do them in here. And if you were paying attention, you'll note, you would remember in the third one I had nothing. There's no docking station. I mean, there's just the moon pool itself. No food, no trees, no decoration whatsoever. It was kind of an afterthought, kind of came late in the game, and then it just seemed superfluous to try and upload or create more items for it. So I left it bare. So this was the original chamber that I made down and laid down for the game. And give myself some water here. I put all my salt in here, and when it finally reaches a critical mass, when this thing fills up, what I'll do is I'll grab all the salt over here, and then I'll run outside and I'll chip some of those coral tubes and make myself some water that way. I think it's 30% water as opposed to these bottles, which I believe are 50. Yeah, maybe not 50%, but it gives you plus 50 on your water. So yeah, so let's just take care of this whole wing first, and we'll get to the other section later. So on the sides, I've even labeled everything. It tells you where it's all at. A little background about me. I am a submariner. I was on the USS Phoenix for 4 years. It's part of the crew, so it's a United States submarine, and we had to qualify on every single piece of equipment that we had on board. So I kind of put those kind of designs so there had labels to everything. You know, I mean, obviously we didn't have moon pools. That would have been really cool if we did. But you know, we basically knew where everything was. Everything was labeled. Like when we had power panels, you know, it'd be tell you what room it was in, and what power. Like this thing here would tell me what power panel it was actually connected to, and whatnot, stuff like that. So I kind of put these labels up here because I just think it really adds to a little bit of the realism of the game, even though it does look rather cartoonish at times. But you know, at least I tried. Captain quarters is over that way. We'll go there next, but the first I'm going to show you is the observation room. And this is, you know, again, a room I didn't really use a lot, so I didn't decorate it too much. And oh, what am I observing? Right, exactly. So let's go up here where there's another chamber where you can get to these little things, and you can look out and see basically nothing. So may not be very eventful here, but I'm sure certain in other portions of the game, other locations, you could probably see some really cool things. So, and then over here I can actually take a good look at the base and see what's going on. So in case I'm being attacked or something, I can certainly see everything that's going around. So it allows me to see any punctures in case I were to add something and not pay attention to the hull strength. And the next thing you know, you've got like your entire base flooded, and then you're swimming around trying to do everything in one breath of air. So let's go back down and go over to the captain's quarters. And this one I really like. I wish I had more windows, but on the outside I put a bunch of reinforcements, or I put things down where the windows can't be put in place. I could probably put one here, but I'd probably have to take this thing out. I got a desk in here, a arcade gorge toy, a gray cap, and the Aurora miniature submarine, which this one I actually found on a time capsule. The other one I have upstairs in the actual captain's quarters is the one I found on the Aurora, in the captain's quarters on the Aurora. And I got my little snack station. Everybody likes their coffee in the morning, especially us Navy guys. So, you know, I got my little duffel bag. You know, it's empty. It's kind of a silly thing. Maybe I'll throw some items in it. Ooh, keep the batteries though, right? Those things are awesome. Okay, yeah, we'll keep that fish just in case I get hungry. Oh, but yeah, I can eat these things. There we go. Nice. Okay, so up above is the captain's quarters. So in here, this is one of my favorite rooms. You know, it's got the little shelf with the Aurora on it. You know, this prawn poster I found, and then of course the keep calm kitty. Yeah, and my bed. Don't know why I have two pillows. One will suffice, but hey, I like to spread out. And of course you can come in here and just take a sit, relax, and look at everything. So, all right, so let's go take a look at the other wing. Ooh, let's go down first. All right. So over here, so I've got labeling for the aquarium. So you can see here's those little squid creatures, and over here we've got our scanning station and the prawn moon pool. And then over this direction we have the nuclear reactor. That's the power control station. Why don't we go up this way first and show you the scanning room and whatnot. You can see I've got my ladder to the scanning station, and of course there's my prawn moon pool. This is the one that's the innermost dock, and I got the other two on that way. There's this one here, you can see the water there, and way off in the distance you can see the water line from the third one. So all these are all interconnected. It's one big circle, and we can go up, come into the scanner room, search for everything we need to, whatever is available in this area. Not like this little phased thing here. This is kind of cool, this 3D image. And then of course, originally I didn't have this here, the moon pool here either, and I had the scanner much lower on the ground. I think this room only used to be one high, and it used to sit right on top of the one, but I eventually removed it and created a much taller base for the aquarium here, because the aquarium is actually 3 stories tall, as you can see. You got this level, the middle level, and then the upper level. Now there's a 4th level up above, but on that one the only thing you get is the ability to look down into the tank as opposed to looking at the sides. So looking in from the sides. And of course you can go in it and interact with these guys, but they don't really do anything. Like I said, I found them before I knew that they were supposed to do something. I had completed the game and everything, and then I found out that there's 4 of these guys, and it's kind of a challenge to find them all. But I don't know, I'm not patting myself on the back or anything, because they don't really mean a whole lot to me. They were cute, but I just kind of generically found them and then put them in here, and I was like, neat. So okay, so let's go look at the reactor. So when it comes to the power reactor, I'm a little anal retentive because I am a submariner, and one of the things we always did when you were passing through the reactor into the reactor compartment was we made sure our watertight door was closed, especially when we're underway. Actually, almost always, or only when we were underway, or there was whenever the reactor was critical, and that means that we were actually generating power. If we were generating power, the reactor doors would be closed, and so I kind of go along with that same vein here. Now the outside power, as you saw, it says this is the back wall. Oh yeah, there it is right there. So it's coming in. That's from the heat thermal generators, and they're just for some reason pumping into this guy. It gives you about 3,000 power. However, a reactor only gives you 2,500 itself, but I got 3,000, so it looks like I'm getting 250 power through each one of those thermal generators. I have the 2 outside. Oh, it's not here now. What happened? A couple of strange bugs I noticed from time to time in the game. But alright, so let's throw these out. I don't know how they can harm you if you carry them around, but I really don't want to find out. Especially since I am cured. So I go in here and I scan myself. Normal. So I'm good. But anyway, that was my base. There's a way out here. That's my base. I thought it was an interesting design. I just kind of made it generically. I didn't really start with a plan. It just started to happen. This was my first module right here. I eventually put my nuclear reactor right here when I connected this wing, And then this, of course, is my first moon pool. But as things started to progress, I eventually decided that I wanted to have an aquarium here, and so I made a whole nother wing and I put the nuclear reactor over that direction. And then the rest of it just kind of got pieced together as time went on. So anyway, I hope you enjoy my base. Thanks for watching.